Night City is a dumpster fire. It burns each and every day, sinking lower, its ashes rising in heaps around its perimeter. The people you are about to witness are survivors. Desperate, everyone. This is their story. Welcome back to the dark future.
Welcome back to the Rockman Report, sponsored by Rockman Augmentics. Today, we talk about the service outages that have plagued the city's eastern edge over the last week. A localized blackout with faulty backup infrastructure has been blamed as the cause. Singularity service should be restored by end of the month to nominal levels. Rockman asks for patience while the system is restored. After the break, we talk about our favorite uses for Singularity and how it can bring you closer to those you love. Stay tuned.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. This mic isn't the one I use. I have a different mic right here that you can kind of see. Yeah. I don't know why. My system decided it was going to just cancel me for half a minute there. So let me just repeat what I just said. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for tech issues. It's been 2 months, 2 very busy months in which I have helped plan and been on the ground for 2 different conventions on behalf of Artell Story Games. And I went elk hunting. Just yesterday, I got back from a quick weekend trip so that my wife and I can still be, doing something amidst the chaos and spending some time that we're like dedicating to one another. But yes, I apologize. The mic was muted, not because my headset was doing its thing here, because I have a proper mic. For whatever reason, my computer decided to reject it. It's been a day of stuff like that happening. I was still a little staticky. You know why? Because my computer reset itself earlier. Hold on. Fixing that now, too. Once I change that. And do that. That should fix it now. Yeah, the gods of tech have not been kind to me today. My computer decided to spontaneously restart on me earlier today, too. So the static should have been cleared now. We're good. We figured it out. It's been 2 months. My computer is not sure what to do with the fact that I'm actually using it to stream again. Thankfully, we haven't dropped frames, which was one of the last times we tried streaming. That was a problem we were running into. So thankfully, we've solved that problem. But joining me, as per usual, is the crew. We've got Ghost, we've got Nyla, we've got Robert. Hello, everybody. Welcome in.
What's up, y'all?
Hi.
We back. We're so back. All right. So, to everyone who is gathered here on the Twitch side who's watching this live, thank you for being here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, thank you as well. Feel free to do the usual stuff that helps the algorithm, like it, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. The goal is, as always, to try and get this out to as many people as I can. And with your help, we can do that. And if you feel so inclined as to financially support me, you can join our Patreon over at patreon.com/Emmerron. I have been a little bit neglectful of that site, unfortunately, in the last couple months. That shall be changing in the very near future here. I've got some big plans for some new content and everything that I just need the time and space to kind of build. So with any luck, the next few months should give me exactly that time and space that I need. So, and of course, one last thing, that over on my good friend Diamond Dust channel, she calls Shill O'Clock. I'm going to give you mine up front here. For those of you who don't know, I am an affiliate of Artel Saurian Games. I have an affiliate code with their official bookstore, telsaurianstore.com. If you are looking for anything that Artel Saurian produces, any of their books, any of the various PDFs they have for their different games, if they sell it on that site, new or old, it is able to be bought using my code Emmerron. There is a link down in the description. Those of you on Twitch, I will be putting that in the chat here right now so that you can see that link as well. If you go to the site using my link or use my code at checkout, you get 10% off. I get a very small kickback as part of the arrangement, and we both win. You get a discount, I get a little money. Everyone loves that. So if you're looking for anything new, Fossilized Violence just dropped like 2 weeks ago at Gen Con. So if you are waiting to get your hands on a fun dino fighting game, it is available now. And you can buy it on the Telsaurian store with my discount code to save you just a little bit of money. With that said, that has been Shill O'Clock. We now return to the regularly scheduled programming. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are on our lovely little game screen here. That is just currently the splash art for the season. So I suppose before we dive into the game in the present, let's talk about what's happened in the recent past where the game is concerned. The three of you, aided by a man going by the name Exiel, who was the leader of this group of friends that you guys have been consistently encountering over the last month or so. They pulled you all out of a simulation. And Scrappy, in particular, had a bit of a rough go with getting yanked out. She came out not feeling too good. Thankfully, part of the team pulling the crew out has their new friend Lockjaw coming into the fray. And notably nearly dying in the attempt to get everyone out of the cryogenically preserved server farm that everyone was plugged into. Think the Matrix, except instead of machines doing it, it's just more people, which somehow makes it even more fucked up, in my opinion. I'll let everyone else make their own minds up on that, but people doing it to other people is never as good as, heartless machine overlords doing it. So with that said, all of you got out of there with your lives barely intact, but you did it. You got out of there with the friends that you've made here. You've been ripped from the simulation, brought to a safe house. Ironically, the same one that you originally found them in, what you now understand to be a simulated version of Night City that's about 15 years older, or 15 years younger than the current date. It is 2077. You have all seemingly either been sleeping for quite a while, or you have been led to believe that you were living in the early 2060s to this point. Amnestics are a hell of a thing. You guys, by and large, don't have a lot of recollection of your past lives outside of that simulated reality yet. Very slowly, they're beginning to kind of come to and awaken, and using things like your holophones to research what still exists, what were maybe programmed lies. You are beginning to kind of divine the truth for yourselves. But as we begin today's session, first and foremost, there is an opportunity to spend IP. Your capabilities in reality are much as they were in the simulation. And it's just taking you a little bit of time to wake up and get the muscles brought back maybe before you're able to kind of fully harness that power. But nonetheless, you could feel it. You've got that potential. So with that said, I suppose I'll go in the order that you guys are kind of arranged on my screen here. Tomo, let's start with you. Do you have IP that you are looking to spend?
It's a 50-50. I could do the basic and just kind of progression skill up, or I could do the weird one that I don't think anybody's gonna expect.
I like weird.
I like weird too. I'll figure out the funky IP later. I'm gonna put the first rank into Netrunner.
Netrunner. Oh boy. That's exciting. All right. Very cool. So yeah, 60
How much
IP.
is it? Okay, I can remember if it was 40 or 60.
Yeah, 60. I will give you interface rank 1. Yeah. Mark was putting money on Rocker Boy. No. No.
Because my thought process here is coming into like this jump into the future, seeing all like the new shit, realizing all the new shit that's like part of him. He wants to get more in tune with that as somebody who's all about like focus and precision, and like now part of him is all like different and weird. So tuning into that more and more. We'll see how far up it goes, but at least the first rank will be interesting. Because a default statted solo is kind of scary if they're also competent in a network. Like, that's a PvP monster.
Well, and notably, for anyone in the audience who is new to us this session, we are playing with the CEMK rules. So this means quick hacking is a thing. And if you're a Netrunner, of any rank, you know when someone is plugged into you. You don't do the whole will versus interface dance to know that someone's plugged into your head. You just know automatically. So that is also a good defense for you. But so 60 IP for Netrunner rank 1. Did you have any other skills that you were looking to buy right now? Or are you just gonna hold the remaining IP you've got?
Nah, I'm gonna hold the remaining. I'll probably do my basic upgrade next time.
Okay, sounds good. With that then, Nyla, does Whiskey have anything that she's looking to update?
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna take 120 IP for MedTech 2.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, no, that could not be a bad one. So you're gonna take MedTech 2. Yeah, and then what's your specs?
I'm gonna get Cryo System 2.
System 2. All right. Very cool. Yeah, what it's telling me that the system doesn't like what I've just done to your points, but it looks it looks fine to me.
Yep.
Cool. So this means that you will be registered to be able to use a cryo tank somewhere else. Which we'll get to what that looks like here in a bit, as you are kind of learning a little bit about kind of your past self before you were maybe plugged into a giant server farm.
Hell yeah.
And now, beyond that 120, did you have anything else that you were looking to spend, or is that where you're holding it?
I think that's where I'll hold it.
Beautiful. Now, Robert, we had some interesting discussions, and I know your Fugi still shows Scrappy, but last time you played Lockjaw, and I know we've had some conversation on and off stream regarding which direction you were going. Are you sticking with Lockjaw, good sir?
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, then Lockjaw has a little bit of IP available to him here. Do you want to spend any of that?
Well, seeing as I only have 90 IP on Lockjaw Sheet, I'm going to sit on it.
Fair enough. All right. So, with the IP kind of covered then, let me kind of reveal for the audience kind of where we are in the big scope of things here. Let me just grab this. All right. So we've got a map here of 2070s Night City. And of course, this isn't perfectly accurate. Some of these districts like Dogtown is just a less developed part of Pacifica. It's not really the victim to the Metal Wars that we understand in the video game. We are still dealing with an alternate timeline here. So some things are going to not be exactly the same. Dogtown still very much does look, feel, and play like a slum, though. Just without the giant wall separating it from the rest of Pacifica. As such, the rest of Pacifica is just the rest of Pacifica. Not that much has changed. So we've come back to you all kind of gathered here in a back alley little hideout that the friends of Exial have under their control. Several of you have taken a little bit of a beating in the escapades you very, very barely pulled off last time. That was very much the sort of thing that I was like, yeah, this will be a good mid-season. And honestly, if I had to pick an event to end up needing to spend 2 more months in the aftermath of, I don't know that I could have picked a lot better. So, as you guys have slowly started coming to here, as mentioned, downtime is on the table. Be that as it may, pretty much all of you are hurting for eddies. I think the only one who might not be hurting as badly is Whiskey. The other two, you guys are both pretty damn close to broke. So with that said, let's start, I suppose, by establishing something, because I think this is probably going to be important for determining some things. Lockjaw, where is it in Night City that you call home? Do you live local here in Dogtown, or do you come here from somewhere else in the city?
Seeing as Lockjaw has kind of been in and out of Biotechnica offices inquiring about bear-shaped objects. No, he kind of sleeps in dumpsters. He roams the city.
So he's very vagabond. So does he have a proper, like, cargo container or similar to call home?
No, he dumpster and or couch surfs depending on if people can give him a shower or not.
All right. Shit. So being that as it is, you've probably more nights recently than not been pretty much right where you guys are now, which is to say slumming it on a cot in the corner of the hideout of the friends. So with that, you obviously, I think, are the most severely injured out of the whole party. I don't think that that's an exaggeration.
And that is either physical or mental, because yeah, someone hit me with black lace, not knowing the repercussions of so.
Remind me, by the way, how deep? Oh, that was 9, right? This 9 that's just above the. That was our tap, I think.
I have exactly 1 humanity left.
Yes, you do. You're flirting with it, man. The edge is calling.
Like,
and
if I was just a bear, it'd be easier.
Yeah, if I was just a bear, it'd be easier. Oh man, dude, I am so sorry to tell you that to be a bear, you need money, and you ain't got that right now. So your problem is the same as any other edge runner. You are broke, and you need a way out. The good news is, of course, that humanity loss does not need to be permanent. It may be temporary. It really depends on how well you roll on resist torture drugs. So I suppose to kind of kick this off, would you roll me that resist torture drugs?
All right.
And I'm just going to reconfigure you so that Lockjaw is your character going forward there. Okay, so bad news, bears. That is a black lace addiction. Full send. That is a black lace addiction. So let me just because this is the easiest way to mark addiction, is to have a 0 slot on your sheet. and then for me to just note you are addicted until you get treatment for that.
Yay.
So that's a -2 to your reflexes as well while you're addicted. So ripperoni. With that said, I suppose, are you gonna spend the week mostly just kind of recuperating?
Indeed, I am.
Okay. So the good news is it takes you 5 days of rest to properly recuperate. So you're not totally shot for having some downtime, but you're definitely not as happy about your prospects as maybe other people are at the moment. So your first 5 days this week are literally just going to be like slumming it on a couch, probably dosing yourself with over-the-counter pain meds that are, odds are good if they're picking them up out of a, cabinet here. They're probably a good 6 months expired at a minimum. But they do the trick, by and large. So I suppose the next person that I'd like to start downtime addressing with, I guess would be Whiskey, because Whiskey, next to Lockjaw, you are the second most injured. So what does your downtime start to look like as you have limped back to this place? The adrenaline kind of leaves your body, and that weariness begins to set in on the night that you guys escaped false reality.
Well, Whiskey just needs to really take a second to just say, okay, I know no one. Reality, as far as I know, is a simulation up till this point, or maybe it's still a simulation. Who is to say? Yeah, kind of unimportant. I need medical attention, and badly.
You do.
I suppose the first thing I'll do is because at this point, have I stabilized myself?
I believe you did stabilize yourself, because we do have a marker on your sheet that shows that you benefited from a speed heal at some point today. Some point
Got
in the
it.
last 24.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so one would assume, that you either are stabilized coming into this, or even if you weren't by game action, you'd have the time to stabilize yourself being a med tech. So that's something I can just kind of hand wave. That's not a huge deal.
Yeah, I suppose I should inquire with the friends. In quotations.
Yeah.
I need someone who knows what this reality is. I need a fixer. I'll take media. I'll fucking live with a rocker boy. I'll do my best not to sock him in the face. Actually, you know what? Looks over at Exial.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Never mind.
I'm taking that back.
So within the friends, they're a relatively small group. As large as they seemed in the simulation, of the members that kind of slowly regather here over the remainder of the day, the day that you guys kind of get back here, right? You guys were the mission, by and large. So there's a handful of other people that, much like you, got extracted out of the system. But they are, by and large, much like Scrappy was, not particularly stable on their feet, not particularly good condition. Among them, notably, is a Maelstrom looking member that looks like a spitting image for the guy you were chasing when you landed yourself in this whole mess.
Yeah.
But in the middle of that, he looks Maelstrom, but you could see, unlike some of the other kind of passers-by that are less stable, like Scrappy, he seems to be relatively able-bodied, much like you and Tomo are. And so as people get brought back here, you know, those that do, his hands are actually working to help other people, which is very un-Maelstrom of him by all accounts that you would like stereotypically probably consider Maelstrom to be. And so once you've kind of gotten kind of an accounting of the people that are gathered here, there are a few individuals that kind of stand with prominence. Obviously, there's the two that you're very familiar with by this point, which are Exiel and Un. The two of which, well, Exiel is flesh and blood. Un is something else, something slightly different. Not exactly clear, but at the very least, Un is remoted in somewhere in the midst of all this. With that said, there are a few other individuals here, like a netrunner that shows up with kind of the last wave of people returning home, that you don't know well yet, but you know that his name is Wireshark. He was supposedly the netrunner that kind of led the operation to pull you guys out of the network, and provided for Exiel's safety while he was in over his head, plugged into the simulation with you. Beyond the two of them, there don't appear to be any medias in this crew. Alongside Exiel, there are two other rockers that, you know, you can kind of tell just from their attitude and the fact that kind of the first thing they do once the rest of things begin to kind of settle down a little bit, they begin to pull up small portable instruments. One of them working on what appears to be some kind of set of soft pads that is some kind of synthesizer, or you might know it as like a launch pad, electronic music. The other grabs a small, not small, but certainly not super awkward to hold kind of guitar that's easily portable, and they jack it into a set of headphones. This one's name, you learn kind of by talking to other people, is Mantis. And she seems to have this kind of like beautiful kind of glitter woven into her hair, and has definitely got more of a punk vibe than Exiel. Exiel seems pretty plain Jane as far as rockers go. Mostly it's that kind of bright coloration that he's wearing. Mantis seems much more punk. The third rocker who you learn is named Tempo. is very much more styled, kind of similar to a lot of the other kind of electronic artists, very much like, skin tight leathers, urban flash, kind of light diodes running up their arms, that sort of thing. But the three of them seem to be kind of the main act, if you will, the public face, if you were to call it that, of the operation. Un acts sort of like a fixer. Like, I believe even there were some questions you asked them last time. And they were able to kind of point at different directions around the city to say, like, yeah, this is what I know, or this is where I would know to get something like that. So Un serves as sort of a fixer for the group, though there's obviously some very distinctive differences there, being that they are not a flesh and blood person.
Yeah. I need, because what I think Whiskey is thinking is like, okay, I'm out of cryo. I need to sort out where am I gonna live?
Mm.
Where am I gonna get my food?
Mm-hmm.
And I need to not bleed out.
Is that all?
So, yeah, just the basic necessities.
The basic necessities.
I guess I'm gonna just kind of because talking to, is Un just kind of like all around us, or like is he only through that monitor?
So Un has kind of got that. The monitor is primarily how they address the room at large. That said, they have provided you with their contact information, so you can reach them by holophone as well, and they can communicate with you that way. The how of that is something you might be pondering, but that might be a question for the later. The fact is, you can call them or message them on an agent, and just like anybody else, they can respond.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and call Un.
Okay, very cool. So as you kind of, as the day has kind of passed, and these people have returned, you dial up Un, and the response is very cordial. The voice is very, very, like, almost friendly, and just says, "Whiskey, how are you settling into things?"
Like a corn dog on a stick. Fucking, I need medical and rent, and not rent, living, and I need food, and I need to figure out how to live. I'm having a time.
Wow.
Can you point me to the nearest clinic?
Yeah. There's an old ripper. Goes by the name of Red Wine, Phoenix Red Wine. Runs a tiny clinic called From the Ashes. Maybe just a couple blocks away.
Perfect. Beautiful. That would be swell. And while I get my living situated, do I have a room for me here that I could crash in? Just couch surf for a bit?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the crew here aren't exactly made of beds, so if you need to crash on a cot for a couple days, it's not a big deal.
Cream. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, over and out.
Yeah, and with that, the line goes dead. So you're gonna go get treatment from Phoenix Red Wine.
Yup.
Her clinic is just remember how I do this really quick. They should have a journal for this. Yes, I do. Beautiful. So yeah, this, if I can create, yes. And then this is from the ashes. All right. And then let me just create a quick description. All right. All right, and we will delve further into that here in a moment. So let me just make sure all of you are listed observers so you can see where that is. But yeah, so that is from the ashes. So you are heading over there. So as you wander into this place, mostly limping, I imagine, given the trauma you've suffered. The clinic, true to kind of what Un just said, is very small. It is quite literally one room, largely separated by what appears to be temporary sort of walls made of thin plastic that have been frosted probably just by tarnishing the plastic itself from the looks of it. For as small and kind of back alley as it is fairly neat and organized. But you could tell everything here seems to be secondhand. The beds are all kind of mismatched models. It doesn't take you very long just looking at them to recognize where they've had to be patched up or repaired several different times. That said, a clearly fairly elderly woman welcomes you in, deep wrinkles kind of ravining her face. And she looks up at you, just says, newcomer, what did you trip into? And she kind of looks you up and down with your wounds.
Just bumped into the corner of a counter.
I wonder what logo adorned that counter. Anyway, take a seat. Let's see what's got you bleeding out over here. And she directs you towards one of those very standard looking Ripper chairs. This one, much like the rest of the clinic's equipment, clearly well worn and very much patched together over time.
You run this joint by yourself, Miss Ma'am?
Name's Phoenix, and got a couple of assistants, but none of them stick around very long. They learn what they're going to learn, and then they find greener pastures, preferably ones where drive-by shootings are slightly lower rate.
Oh, but that's part of the fun. Every day would be the same.
And
sorry.
She grins at you and she just says, look, if you know any Rippers that are looking to do charity cases, you let me know. Until then. And you see her kind of strap on a kind of like an overhand tech glove full of medical tools. She says, let's have a look, see exactly what's ailing you. And you see her pull a small probe over that you probably pretty quickly recognize as some kind of med scanner. And she begins to run over you. Says, yeah, lots of bullets in you. Most of them, at least, looks like they went through you. So don't have to dig out any bits of shrapnel. You make a habit of getting shot up.
These days, I'm getting more and more used to it.
Good, you'll be good business for me then.
Yeah. My name's Whiskey. Just while we're on them, exchanging names.
I'd say it's good to meet you, but you need to come back here at least 2 more times before I can really jam your name into my brain. You understand, this neighborhood's not exactly known for people living very long lifespans. And she continues to kind of like probe over your body, making sure you recognize that she doesn't miss anything. She's being very like thorough, very meticulous. Not at all trying to like rush and just like say, oh yeah, here's your problem, get you out of there. You've been to plenty of rippers like that in the past. Military rippers are probably most notorious for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, she kind of continues doing her once over on you here. And before long, she begins to kind of do what she can to, stabilize you, dig out the bullets. And she says, looks like either you or someone else just dosed you in the last couple hours with some speed heal.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe you had some antibiotic on
Yeah,
hand.
it'll have to do under the circumstances. And you see her fumble through slightly shaky hand through a drawer filled with a variety of air hypos. Again, none of these look dirty. Like, they don't look like they've been used. But you could tell that just the cartridges with the various bits of drugs, pharmaceuticals, and such that she has in there, some of them look maybe a bit dated, or at the very least a bit kind of homemade, let's say. And she reaches in, grabs an air hypo, grabs a cartridge that has a green label with handwritten pen on it, loads it, and then jabs it into your arm without saying much more.
Ugh, beautiful. Well, thanks, Granny. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Like I said,
Ugh.
get back here a couple more times and I'll really make sure that name of yours sticks in this old brain case.
Yeah, same to you. Where can I find your cute little place here wouldn't happen to have a cryo tank, would it?
Down in the basement, I have a couple. They're not exactly new, but the fluid in them's fresh.
Oh, beautiful. You mind if I take a looky-loo?
And she kind of looks at you a little bit puzzled. You need to know how to operate one of those to get any use out of it, right?
You said you were looking for rippers to do charity cases, right?
And she kind of like very slowly nods, like not entirely certain like what to make of that.
Just let me down there and trust me, you won't regret it.
Right this way. And she leads you down. This is, like I said, a very small clinic kind of in the lower level of what appears to have at one point been like a 3-story kind of shopping plaza. And so walking in here, you didn't see stairs. And as she kind of wheels a cart off of a panel in the floor, you can see why. She lifts up what appears to be just like a trapdoor, and then below it a long ladder extends down into what you can already smell and feel is some kind of cold, slightly damp, musty cellar.
It's got character.
Like everything else in this part of the city.
All right, let's see what we're working with here.
Yeah, so she leads you down the ladder. Her movement's very slow and careful. When she arrives on the other side, she walks over through some very low light here, just basically the soft glow off of instrument panels and such, and reaches over and flips a light switch. And with that pop of old electronics getting lit up for the first time in a while, you can hear that slow kind of fizzling hum come to life as several long kind of fluorescent bar lights in the ceiling begin to illuminate one after another. And you see a short bank of 3 cryopods lining one wall of the basement, with the remaining space being dominated in the center by what appears to be a large, well-worn metal table that thankfully is clean, but you see all of the apparatus to know that this is probably a morgue operating table, judging from the placement of various drains and runoffs. And along the right wall, there's a row of 2 high drawers. The cabinet sitting maybe 5 feet tall. And each of these, again, you get the sense you're looking at what appears to be a makeshift morgue that has been embedded under here. Though judging from kind of the damp scent in the air, you're guessing none of this has been used for a while.
Let's see if we can't get one of these puppies working.
And so you walk over to the cryopods. True to what she said, this is dated hardware. Each of these cryopods is at a minimum 10 years old. There's one here that you are questioning, just from the sheer amount of patchwork that's gone into it, if this is truly the same cryo tank it was. It's a very Ship of Theseus question.
Right.
But very much all 3 of them seem, after a little bit of basic kind of diagnostic tinkering that you do, each of them seems fully functional.
Yeah, these are military grade, all right?
And Phoenix genuinely laughs at that. She says, "You come out of the doghouse that was Militech."
Oh yeah, I did once upon a time.
Figures that's where I got this one from. And she kind of does one of those like reassuring kind of slaps on the side of the Ship of Theseus pod. Well, the original. I've had to patch just about every single part of her aside from the motherboard, and I'm questioning when that thing will go.
Oh, it'll do. Do you mind if I use one of these for a day or two?
And take a nap on ice, you mean?
Yeah, just a couple days. It should get all the yuckiness out of my system.
Yeah, feel free to. Me or one of my assistants can come down, check on you, make sure you haven't gotten any frostbite with this old tech. You never really know when something wants to blow. Old fuse, random circ.
Motherboard craps out.
you know. You're welcome
Yeah.
not to use the old Militech repro. I've got the other two are in maybe slightly better condition.
Yeah, but I like this one. It's got wabi sabi.
True to yourself. Thanks. Yeah, and so she preps the pod for you to step in once you've kind of, you know, the usual drill. There's a, you know, basically specialized kind of hospital gown that you wear over yourself, that various kind of feeding tubes and stuff are passed through into your skin. And after donning that rubber mask that will supply you all the oxygen you need for the next couple days, a sedative is hit into your arm. And as you begin to drift off, you hear that low hiss of the hood of this cryopod tightening up and the gurgling of the cryopumps engaging, and maybe just that very faint chill as the first bit of cryo fluid kind of begins to rush up from right around your feet. And so you're going to spend, because cryopods are, it's not double time healing, I believe. Let me double check.
Good question.
Yeah, I'm just so that we know exactly. It's been a while since I've seen someone do a cryopod. So let's see. Okay, so it's not in there. Let me see. Probably in general gear. Let's see. Cryo pump tank. Here we go. Keeps in stasis while in the cryo tank but considered unconscious. Heal at double the normal rate. As long as they remain inside the tank is at least 1 HP. Okay. So no, it is double. That's very cool. I was thinking it was enhanced antibodies that just did that, but okay. So if you heal at double your normal rate and she's just dosed you with a course of antibiotics, that means, I'm guessing we just stack those together for the purposes of what we multiply. So you'd be recovering, antibiotics are +2, so that'd be 8 times 2, so 16 per day that you're spending in here. So
Sick.
Pretty much, yeah, just enough. 2 days later, you'll be able to walk out of this thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Very cool. So while you're in there taking a ice bath, Tomo, this leaves us with you in your downtime. You, unlike the other amateurs, schmucks, if you will, in your crew, you took no damage. So, so with that said, and that being the reality you're living, what would you like to use your downtime for here?
Don't say it like it's such a good thing, because I'm kind of in a hunter-gatherer position for the rest of the crew right now. We're all broke as shit and hungry, sleeping on cots in our literal friend's place. So I'm going to hustle and hope it goes well, because I have a very short-term, very bad idea to maybe try and make it.
Ooh, all right. Are you hustling as a solo or as a netrunner? Because you do get that option.
Actually, could I try and pitch something?
Please.
Because I feel like this could go better if I just take a week to do it instead of hoping that I can shill it in an afternoon.
Valid.
So, Toma has some basic knowledge of the streets, at least the streets that he remembers.
Yeah.
So what if we do a little bit of urban hunting, Punisher style? We go for a board ride for the first few days, look for a dealer, find his route, and then sometime about the end of the week, we catch him on his walk home from a rooftop. One arrow to the head, nice and clean like a buck. Drop down, run all of his profits for the day, and hope that's like a secure Eddie's payday that I'm hoping will be either adjacent to or just above what a regular hustle would be.
All right.
I figure it's morally gray enough because it's a dealer.
Yeah. And you are in a combat zone. Like I said, this may not be Dogtown, but this is still Pacifica, and Pacifica ain't really any better than the Pacifica that everyone here is familiar with. So, go ahead. Let's start, I suppose, as you begin to wander southern Pacifica, which is kind of what Dogtown is known as right now. Go ahead and roll me a streetwise check. Let's see, because this is kind of you actively perceiving the district from the criminal underground rather than knowing it, right? This isn't baked in knowledge. This is you kind of acquiring it on the fly.
And I'm going to spend my lucky 2 luck on this because I want to find a good mark.
Hell yeah. That's a pretty solid opening roll here. All right. So on a 23, you kind of skulk around the district here. The first few days of the week, getting your bearings, at times perhaps moving with the other members of the Friends, just to kind of give yourself, cover in a crowd. At other times, kind of moving on your own, working your way through the mixture of salvaged, scavenged together buildings and urban ruins that were never fully completed of the resorts that should have been here. And as you kind of work your way around, you see at the end of the 3rd day, you see a small deal going down between what appears to be relatively young-looking individuals. One of which looks very much kind of just like down on your luck kind of punk. You could see kind of haphazardly stuffed into their waistband. They've got a pretty poor looking pistol kind of tucked away there, not making any real effort to conceal it. The person they're dealing with, however, looks a little brighter, a little more colorful. Along their sleeve on a kind of hooded jacket that they're wearing, you see what appears to be the faded and kind of half chipped away logo of a kind of bone, like a fish skeleton. No words kind of adorn that to make it clear what you're dealing with here. Both these people, though, you're guessing can't be older than maybe 18 or 19 years old. They're fairly young. And it appears the brightly colored one is the dealer in this situation. You see the other one, the one down on their luck, a little bit twitchy, a little bit... You've seen his type before. Someone who clearly is a little too reliant on the substances he's taking. Money trades hands, though. The brightly colored one with the fish bones on their arm. You can see a grin underneath that hood. And before long, they kind of part ways. The brightly colored one kind of beginning to blend back into the rest of the crowd that is kind of always milling about the crowded back alleys of this part of the city.
Okay. Man, other than that, like the first of the newer God of Wars that like close your heart to it. I'm having one of those moments. Oh, because we need the Eds, man.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd try and track him back because, especially Young Dealer, he's gonna have somewhere that he posts. And same thing, I want to get up onto a rooftop so he doesn't see it coming. I want it to be over like before he hits the floor. That way I can just, because I've got the grapple thing that's attached to the bow, so I can get up somewhere, take the shot from up high, and then just zip down, run it, I'm out.
Yeah. Very,
So
very
I'm just waiting for that setup and that shot. I might, while I'm tracking him, if there's a bodega, because I'm sure I can afford it with 70 eds, some kind of like a gator or just some kind of half mask to cover my face.
Yeah, I mean, it's not particularly hard to come across like some like 10 or 20 eddy, like, yeah, bandana or cloth of some kind that is built to kind of help with that. So as you begin to track this person, you track them near enough to a small day market over on kind of the western edge, or excuse me, eastern edge of the district here, in the shadow of what appears to be a large kind of sporting arena. You don't remember who owns it. It's lit up with a million different advertisements. But in its shadow, there's been this small day market, it appears, that's kind of popped up. Your colorful friend, your quarry, seems to be kind of dealing left and right in this environment. That quick pass, sleight of hand, bills for some baggie of something. He does this a few different times throughout the day market. And sure enough, 10 eds, you're able to get yourself face covering to be able to kind of mask your identity. It's probably more sold here to mask against the dust that you're finding, especially in kind of these lower lying areas of the district, is just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining, like one of those kind of thin gaiters that a lot of people just kind of wore around their necks, and then when they go inside somewhere during the plague, they just kind of pull it up real quick. Basically, just one of those.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty much just a makeshift, like, bandana that's been maybe trimmed ever so slightly to make folding it and moving it into position for that slightly easier. But yeah, 10 eddies and that sort of device is yours, and you kind of do this as you are kind of carefully stalking your prey through the open air market here. Eventually, your friend begins to move north and west towards the Coast View district here. You see a bunch of low buildings off in the distance that look to be at the very least to have historically been some kind of motel or maybe small apartments. On the outside of them, you see a bunch of people gathered around, booze getting poured pretty freely, loud music getting played raucously, and you find yourself kind of stalking from above in one of these half-completed hotels that never saw their construction finished.
Yep, I was just about to say, because I saw in the I do still have the board. I could cut ahead of him a little bit.
Yep.
And then, because if I see that part upcoming, I'd be like, oh, this is the opportunity. See the party going on, slip into the back, use that opportunity to get myself up on the roof quietly, and...
Yep. Roll me stealth.
Getting ready to take the shot.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good considering I'm just trying to slip my way through a drunk party.
Yeah. So you kind of slide between some of these groups on the lower levels of the building. You know, your board gets several comments. You do make an effort to like kind of cut that as early as you can. Once you get one or two people like, oh dude, that board's fucking crazy. And you know, it's not long after that once you duck around another corner, kind of slip that into the slot for it on your back, and then begin to kind of maneuver your way more on foot and using that grapple line of yours to get further up into the building. Down below you, about 5 stories, once you've hit kind of the point where you can see out over the building, is an unfinished floor. The windows and even the wall that was supposed to be kind of built for what you're guessing was windows that would overlook the Pacific Ocean here, were never put in. So what is left instead is a bunch of crooked beams, concrete subflooring, and spray painted directives and instructions that never fully got followed up on, many of which have been slowly weathered away in the intervening years. You kind of wander out into that floor empty, and you quietly maneuver yourself into this open wall, essentially overlooking the courtyard below. And there you see him, your little friend, kind of milling about at the edge of the party. And it's when he turns a corner behind what appears to be an old enclosure for what would have probably been a dumpster that has never really had anything put there, though you see piles of trash gathered near it, as if someone's going to clean it up eventually. You see him stop there, alone, and light up a cigarette.
So, I used to love old Flash games. I don't know if anybody will remember this one, but it's an oldie but a goodie. It's a sniper game called Smoking Kills. That's kind of what's gonna happen to this guy, because I want this to be one clean shot, nice and simple. And he's kind of by himself. I've got the timer of a cigarette, which how long is it to take time? It's like 3 times as long as it would usually take, right?
Right, yeah.
So, kind of set up into position, squatted down, see him go to take that little smoke break, stand up to establish my stance, take a deep breath, make sure everything's lined up. Boom.
All right.
And we're going to see how it goes.
So let's see the stance roll first, because I believe you do need a roll for that. Yep.
Bam, bam.
Easy. All right, cool. So you're playing with a -2 in place of a -8 for that headshot.
No, that's the aimed one for sword. This is the one that adds 2d6 damage to make sure that it's going to be enough to put. Yep, I want to make sure that he goes down in one. Nobody likes chasing a wounded. Anyways,
you're so right though.
Anything else I want to put on this? Because I've got the +1 from the excellent quality bow. I've got my +1 because I assume I have the 9 seconds it would take as 3 rounds of combat to line up a really good shot. I'm not going to waste the difficulty on aiming because this guy isn't ready for this. If this catches him, it's just GG's. I hope.
You hope. So, aiming is a +1. So you'll take time to aim. So that's a +1. Well, aim more generally, but basically making sure that shot will fly true to what you want it to. So +1. So yeah. So you get a +1 mod to this, and then as much luck as you feel is necessary. You're currently 5 stories up, so that puts you at about 18 meters from him on the ground.
That's lights.
Yeah.
Oh, that's curtains.
That'll hit. Roll me the damage.
I can't do this to this guy. No. No.
All right.
Talk to him.
So, we got this thing called tarot that we need to pull. Let me just real quick.
Well, I did say I wanted to make sure he went down in one shot.
You did say that, yes. All right. Oh. I've never seen a more perfect pull. We've got the Fool. So, all of the victims' cyber is rendered inoperable for an hour. Cyber limbs that are rendered inoperable act as their meat counterparts do when they have been dismembered. They still hang loosely. Should this leave a target without any ability to sense an opponent, any check they make suffers an additional -4, as if obscured by smoke or darkness. If the victim has no cyberware, they instead suffer a foreign object critical injury and experience 3d6 humanity loss. What I will say is our little friend here does not have cyberware. They have none. So you watch this arrow lance into them. And there's a brief moment where they look wide-eyed down at the long carbon fiber shaft that is now firmly embedded in their chest. And they have just long enough to look up and meet your eyes before they quietly collapse backwards into a pile of trash bags that have been left here. The cigarette dropping onto the ground next to them, and you see beginning to smolder against one of the plastic bags. But yeah, that drops them in one.
Jesus. Yo, I was just imagining if he did have cyberware, like this was already a total Hitman, like one-tap setup. I was imagining the Hitman ragdoll of just all of his cyber limbs failing to function.
Yeah, no. I mean, at most it would have been a neuroport, I think. Like, this guy is not made of money at all. And I'm like, nah. This guy is... Yeah.
Yep, so I'm going to drop down, and while I finish however much of that cigarette is left, I am going to run through his pockets. And it went very, very quietly, so I am going to take that extra minute and make sure I don't miss anything.
Absolutely. Conceal reveal object.
Conceal reveal object. +1 for time?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I thought that was about to crit.
You're still on fire today. That's crazy.
Yeah,
so
13 on a base 4 is kind of nuts.
That is pretty good, yeah. So you rifle through this kid's pockets, and in there you find a disposable cell phone. You find a couple of drugs here. Notably, you find a baggie of black lace, as well as 2 baggies of synth coke. And so I will give you, here's your synth coke. Here is your black lace. And notably, the thing you came here for, roll me a d6.
D6. No!
Oh,
Wait, it's a 1. Can I Eno it?
no.
Damn.
No.
Well, I don't know what your scaling is. That might be a good thing.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds because I'm going to roll one other thing here. Okay. So you dig through this kid's pockets, and you've seen how many deals he's pulled off throughout the afternoon here today. You pull out a wad of 900 eddies out of this kid's pocket.
Oh, this is a glorious hunt.
Notably, the last thing you find here next to that disposable cell phone and the drugs is you find what appears to be a plastic calling card or business card of some kind. There's a small QR code on one side of it, and on the other, you see the now more complete kind of logo. And underneath it is a word kind of scrawled in stylized font, Piranhas.
Oh, that's not good. Tomo has streetwise enough to know that is not somebody that.
You just
seeing
flatlined
that,
one
he's
of their
gonna
drug
kinda-
pushers.
He's gonna kind of, oh shit. He's gonna toss the card back down on his chest, put one foot on his chest to yank the arrow back out, kind of swish the shit back off,
Yep.
toss it in his shit, and he's back on the road. We're getting out of there.
All right. So, but yeah, you're 900 eddies the richer, along with a couple of doses of drugs and a disposable cell phone if you want to take it.
I think I will take it, but I'll dump it in a trash can along the way, because the last thing that I need to have happen, as the planets love to align sometimes, that we're in some meeting with some random piranhas and my phone rings as they're trying to get a hold of their missing drug pusher.
Fair enough. So you're not holding on to that for long. You're just tossing it into a dumpster. Are you gonna rifle through it at all, or?
No. I assume there would be more contacts for piranhas. This is one of those things where you realize, oh shit, this was somebody. This person was somebody's. I probably shouldn't have stuck him. I'm out of here.
Yeah. No, that's probably for the best. So yeah, you get back on that board of yours, and you head back, I presume, toward the basement headquarters. That is the base for the friends.
Yep, because now that I have some eddies in my pocket, it's time to check on everybody else who is healing most of that time and see who wants to go in on actual living conditions soon.
Fair enough. All right. So, we'll resolve this in time order, because for you, this represents a couple of days, pretty much. The rest of your week, is probably wisely spent laying low after flatlining a piranha. That's probably not a good thing. So the first one to kind of come back into the fold here and kind of act further would be Whiskey. So Whiskey, a couple days pass, and it's that usual sensation of warmth that begins to slowly crawl back in. It's the first thing you feel as you begin to thaw out from the cryo fluid in the basement of From the Ashes. Staring in at you is not Phoenix, but rather, as she kind of told you, one of her on again, off again medical assistants, quote unquote, that she has on staff. This one appears to be a relatively young, albeit not like they just got out of like uni or anything like that. You're guessing like late 20s, early 30s. But it's a woman who is looking at you, like frizzed out kind of hair, darker, almost kind of like caramel colored skin. And as she looks at you through a set of what appears to be stylized smart glasses, she says, "Vitals are looking good. How are you feeling?"
Oh, like $1 million. Where's Granny?
Upstairs, tending to a couple other gonks that decided to catch themselves in the middle of a firefight.
A couple space cadets. That's awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate everything y'all have done for me. I will certainly be back, at least in a volunteer capacity, if not a patient capacity.
As long as you work it out with her. I know she's not exactly one to leave debts standing.
No, 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 no. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. I'll tell you what, she here's my contact. You can pass it to her if she wants to catch me, but I gotta run. I got a life to settle out and all that. Have a good one.
Yeah. And so you get your things, your clothes back on and head up the ladder to the main level of the clinic. Sure enough, as you kind of pass by, you see Phoenix, surgical mask kind of covering her face. You can just kind of see it through a small gap in plastic sheeting. In front of her, you see the very slight image of gore and the kind of rapid beeping of several monitors in the background. These guys got caught up in a pretty damn serious firefight, if anything that you're seeing and hearing is to be believed. But as you wander out here, where do you go from here?
Let's head back to the basement because I believe, outside of Whiskey's knowledge, but to my knowledge, that should be where Tomo is.
Yeah. So
Then I don't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah, so it's been about 3 days in total since you guys got yanked out of the simulation. At this point, Tomo, how would Tomo be handling the understanding of what he just did as he kind of gets back to HQ? Like, would he be keeping his cool?
Yeah. He's definitely cool of eight, so I feel like he'd be able to keep himself contained enough. And it's not like a lack of humanity disconnected. It's like a cold, suppressed, like speaking very factually. Like when he talks about the money he got, like, oh, hey, where'd you go out for the past couple of days? Oh, I went out and I got us some meds so we can start trying to look for somewhere besides a cot to sleep.
Right.
Like that's how he would describe it and look at it, as always like, what were the ends and never mention the means.
Entirely fair.
What's good, Tomo? You have how you said linen?
Well enough. Hopefully made enough for us to be able to eat for a little bit.
Hey, I like eating. Do we shit, man. I just spent a couple days on ice, so you're gonna have to forgive me for my slow mental processes.
Tomo's kind of gonna chuckle, and I'm surprised after however long we were in there, the first thing you wanted to do was go back into a pod.
I yearned for the tank. Sorry.
I yearn for the tank. It's incredible.
Oh, my RimWorld Palm's eating without a table for the third week in a row.
Oh, listen, I got some meds on me, so we should be good on that front. But shit, man, should we just like? I mean, there's a whole city out there. I don't even know what to expect. We're here in the slums, but
Yeah, I've gone on a bit of a ride, but I haven't really seen anything outside of, well, here.
You want to just hop on an end cart and kind of see what's going on?
Yeah, how's that lockjaw guy holding up?
Tomo, you would have probably seen as you kind of prowled in and out of this place over the last couple days. Most of the last few days, aside from maybe like a bag of kibble or like some water, mostly Lockjaw's been like confined to a cot at the edge of one of the rooms one of the back rooms in the little basement area that you guys are occupying here, largely mending his wounds.
I could. I'm gonna go over to Lockjaw actually. Hey, big guy.
If you're not giving me kibble or something to eat, I suggest you don't touch me.
Hey, no touching. Yeah, you know, Good Samaritan laws can only take me so far. I'm just checking if you're okay.
If it wasn't for him being an older man, he would literally look like a zombie.
Hey, listen, if you want, there's a nice cozy cryo tank I can shove you in for a few days.
The coldness of a tank does not compare to what I'm feeling right now. But I would rather not turn friends into sacks of meat.
Hey,
So
it's not that kind of tank. It's for healing. Makes you feel good.
Healing, I'm fine.
Okay. Just checking on you. You sure you're okay? Because I'm assuming Black Lace addiction has a certain you can kind of tell
If
you know the signs.
If someone's particularly addicted to it, and they haven't gotten a fix for a bit, pale, clammy skin is usually pretty common. You know, that kind of sunken in eye kind of look on someone if they've been at it a while. So that probably wouldn't be Lockjaw, but he definitely would have kind of that pale, clammy looking skin for sure.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that he's like a little bit sweatier and just kind of maybe fidgeting a bit.
The fidgeting is not from the Black Lace, but
yeah,
secondarily, I guess it kind of is. But
yeah, he's a little. Yeah, that's probably from the alcohol, but you know. You all right, man. Well, if you need anything, we're gonna head out for a bit.
Because you're doing this on day 3 of 7, right?
Yes.
Yes, no. Lockjaw will simply roll back over and go, "Ugh," and try to go back to sleep.
just dead to the world.
All right, take the it.
Cool. So, as the two of you begin to start moving toward an end cart, most of Pacifica, as you might imagine, isn't serviced by the end cart system for reasons I don't think I need to really explain. The kind of sole exception to that is on the north end of the district near the stadium here. The blue and white lines connect the NCART train system to the broader city. So you can catch an NCART maglev train out of there if you want to do that. But as far as like buses and other kind of infrastructure, the only real transport around Pacifica is largely handled by combat cab. Well, its predecessor, or not predecessor, it's progeny, its successor in Delamain. They're about the only ones that will send any kind of anything down this way. mostly for fear of life and limb.
Toma, what you thinking?
Well, I just finally got a few eds. I don't want to burn it on a ride.
We can walk. I don't mind.
Yeah, it might not be the greatest idea for that. Delamain doesn't sound like, and he starts making the call. Trying to avoid bringing up the fact that he does not want to get spotted just roaming around the neighborhood by piranhas.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Delamain's, they're just kind of basic transport service, to say nothing of like a fancier package. Will run you 100 eddies for a trip. It ain't cheap.
I could spot that. I got you, man. I get it. You don't gotta explain it to me. Less I know, I think the better.
Good one.
So where are you guys taking this Delamain to, is then the question.
Because does the 100 cover the entire city?
Yeah, the Delamain for 100 eddies can get you just about anywhere in the city. With maybe the only exception to that being kind of the northern end of everything. So like you could get anywhere into like the central city or the eastern edge for that 100. So like the kind of where it cuts off would probably be like if you were trying to get into the northern end of Japantown or into like Little China, Kabuki, or anywhere north of that. That would be about the only place it couldn't take you for that rate.
You thinking the Glen?
I have an idea instead of general scraping, because back in the day, like Tomo and Stitches both were kind of street level, kind of on intermediary levels, so we could take like a stop by stop and just go around old stomping ground spots, not necessarily expecting to meet the leader that I quote unquote know from the simulation or whatever, but kind of knowing the establishment there and trying to look for some work to set up for us like in this next coming week once everybody's back on their feet.
I'm down. Let's do that.
Okay. So then where would be the first stop?
It would probably be a place in the Glen just because of how things are ordered. Because we drive out of the combat zone up into the Glen, and then wherever there would be like essentially a quest giver, a bar with a fucking fixer that resides there.
Yeah. I mean, within the Glen itself, you've got, there's a pretty well-known bar, and this is something that if you... trying to think, would have been around in... It probably would have been around in your time. Though it would have probably looked a lot different then. The Glen has become kind of it's transitioned from being the seat of central power for the city, like it once was, and has become more of a barely ordered chaos. That's kind of a clash between the NCPD and what remains of the municipal structures that were there during the time of the Red, and what has now become the long list of neighborhoods, barrios, and kind of gang in holdings that the Valentinos have taken on here.
So it's like the four corners of power vacuum right now.
A little bit, but it's not a full-blown combat zone. And there is a bar there that you would have known about even in your simulated time. The Coyote, El Coyote Cojo, that lovely little watering hole that is very much owned by the Valentinos, make no mistake. But generally, they are a little more amicable there. At the very least, they won't shoot you on sight most of the time. mostly because the guy who owns the place would probably shoot them soon after.
Well, I guess I would give I'd give Whiskey a heads up on the place, like what to expect when we go in. We're gonna go in, order a drink, ask for a guide, let him know that we got a crew of edge runners just made it to the city, looking to make a few eds, wondering if they had any work. Nothing too special, just sit they have on tap, you know?
Yeah, I could use a drink.
Okay. Very cool. So the two of you, you are catching the Delamain to do this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you ride the Delamain up to that kind of east side of the glen. And as you pull up, there is a extremely colorful neighborhood around this place. There are large murals covering walls here that when you look closely at them, it's clear they were painted with spray paint, but these are full-on mixes of gang iconography, religious symbology, and there's a couple other, memorializing various names. Clearly, you can kind of tell, even though I don't believe either of you can speak Spanish, the symbology and the images are easy enough to understand. And as you enter, you could see kind of hanging out on nearby corners as you begin to approach closer to El Coyote Cojo, that there's definitely a lot of Valentinos in the area. They have a very strong hold on whatever it is that you're walking into here. So as you guys arrive, are you having the Delamain let you out like right by the bar, or are you having it let you out a few streets down?
Not casual drop off. We're not coming looking for trouble. We're just having it drop us, go in, get a couple drinks. I don't know if there's a standby mode in case this turns out poorly and we need to go to a next spot. Like if it's like an actual cabbie, they'll just sit outside with the meter running for us. But
I mean that would be the contingency package. That's another like 200 eddies if you want that. Yeah.
Nope, cheaper. Just call another one.
Yeah.
Like it's a true scam, like all insurance should be.
Exactly. It's not called on by the rich and popular of the city for nothing. So as you guys pull up in your, albeit, Delamains are a pretty common sight around the inner parts of the city these days. As much of that as you might or might not know. They generally don't go into areas like this all that often. So as you get out, you can feel eyes just staring at you from all around. They are clearly wondering what the fuck this is. How do you guys kind of carry yourself as you get out of the cab here?
Blending tactic. Because it did so much damage, I could quote unquote realize this busted arrow in my thing that's still like coated in a little bit of the dude's stride shit, and just kind of as I'm walking in, pulling an arrow out of the quiver that's like been busted and very obviously used to show them we're not just suits getting out of a Delamain, like we do work.
Yeah, fair enough.
It just tossed that one arrow.
Fair enough. So yeah, you're kind of examining it as you get out of the cab and like tossing it aside. Roll me this as a face down, because that's kind of effectively what you're doing here.
That does kind of track. I am kind of flexing my motherfuckers. I do work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's not too bad.
It's solid 0 round.
Yeah. So these guys, by let's see. So, you do see a group of these guys that are kind of hanging out a few steps away, kind of near the front door of this place. So as you do your little thing, you know, kind of examine the broken arrow and toss it to the side, one of these guys, big golden cyber arm on one side, and a very clearly like decorated pistol at low ready in his other, walks out in front of you to kind of get between you and the door. And he looks you over, he says, "Hey, why are you littering on my street? Pick that shit up."
Right. Oh, I do want to make you do it. I did say in a trash can as I walk up.
Could
I could roll tape on that. I wanted to, because I
Oh.
didn't want to just chuck it onto the street. I wanted to because most places will have some sort of trash, but just dump it in a bin. If there's, because that is insulting. Just walking up and chucking shit on the street like that.
It could have sent a message. It is a little risky. But yeah, no, I mean, if you send it in the trash can, bottom line, he probably still used the same line. Like very much.
Yeah,
like,
why you filling our cans with your shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the angle you can press that.
Very much that, yeah. And like the sense is I mean, you know this kind of push, right? This guy doesn't give a fuck about the arrow you just dumped. He gives every bit of a fuck about the fact that two dudes just rolled up in a fancy man's cab and are just walking up like they own the fucking place.
I wish I was playing a punchy boy because he's trying to punk me and I want to kick him in the nuts.
I mean, technically, Nyla's right next to you, and he could technically go for that.
Could I, really quick, because you mentioned, like, what are we doing on our way up? I'm trying to... How many eyes are looking at us?
So there are three, very clearly, as you kind of look them up and down as you walk over, especially as this one kind of gets between you guys and the entrance. These are all Valentinos. That shouldn't be a shock. There are three of them here right by the entrance of the Coho, and there's at least 2 or 3 others that you could see kind of looking from across the street. Their eyes seemingly suggesting they're figuring out what the fuck they're gonna do. Right now, their eyes are just curious.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to step in and try and do something, feel free. Because there is kind of a moment of pause for Tomo when the dude steps up to punk him like that, of like, oh shit, this is not what I came here for.
Oh man, dude, I have too cool. Help me out here.
I can run it. Okay, I didn't know what your cool was. I didn't know if you want to step up and do it.
What I can do is I can stance the fuck up and tactical oversight.
Ooh.
Oh, that would actually kind of like, he goes to step up and punk me. You step between us and put your hand on his chest, like that kind of like the actual muscle, because and then I'll just talk behind that before it escalates.
Oh yeah. I think how would I do this?
Because there's also only 2 of you, so like it doesn't need to be tactics in order for this to work. It just needs to be something that you think might give Tomo an edge here, one way or another.
Oh. Well, I'll wait to see if there's an edge as well, because I just thought of an idea that might give us an end.
I'll give My kind of thought with tactics was I think I'm gonna take the you know what? I see what this dude is trying to do, but we're on a street out in the open day, and I think I'm gonna take a gunslinger stance.
Hmm.
And that'll be my tactics.
Ooh,
Fuck yeah.
okay, yeah. So you immediately, when you say a gunslinger stance, you mean like you kind of grab for your iron, that kind of thing?
Oh, I'm talking like, legs slightly apart with hand just hovering over my holster.
Just hovering, yeah.
Duster brushed back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. All right, sick. So you stance up, sizing up the 5 or 6 Valentinos between the two sides of the street. The 3 right in front of you and the 2 or 3 behind you here. That might step in if something were to go down. And you start to kind of judge, okay, what are we going to do here?
Yeah, just maybe giving a slight little smirk because I'm like, God, I hope something happens. Please.
With that, as the tension is rising in the air, Tone's gonna take a breath, force himself to recenter, and like force a smile onto his face. Sorry, Chu. We're not here for all that. We're here to see. And whoever would have been running the coho or been running Valentino's in the area in the time that he's remembering. So like his frame of reference, whatever's changing, that I basically want to ask for that old management. Because they might not know me, they might still know me, there might still be trickle down. You never know. Mentioning an actual name might at least get my foot in the door, and from there I can explain to somebody that it actually matters to that I've been on ice for however long.
Interesting. Give me just a quick sec. I need to check just a little bit of lore here to understand one quick thing there. And yeah, so
That's actually crazy because you were talking about, it might be that old, but you're not 100% sure. That would mean that I would essentially be asking about like a founder that's probably long gone, and that'll raise a couple of eyebrows.
So, you recognize, so you remember, let me, this would be interesting. Roll me, as you kind of pull this name out, roll me a Streetwise really quick.
Roll you a Streetwise if I can find it, and I'm going to put my lucky 2 luck into this as well. There we go. That's why it's the lucky 2 luck.
That's a sick roll. So you think about 2 things here. As you go in your head before your words begin leaving your mouth, and you frame this picture in your mind of the man that you are going to tell this guy you're here to meet, right? The like you said, probably founder of the Coyote, was a man by the name of Sebastian Ibarra. As you go to think of this name and pull this out, however, like a flash, you suddenly remember something that kind of comes to you almost as if through like a haze. Maybe a true memory of something from before you were in the simulation. You know, whether it was something you saw on a sign, something you saw on your holophone while you were kind of looking up spots to maybe visit today, but you remember the blurry memory of a conversation set against the bar, this place, with a guy by the name of Pepe. And you get the feeling that's actually the guy you're about to walk in and see.
So it'd be more something like Listen, Chum, we're not here for all that. I'm just here to talk to Pepe. Used to get jobs from him back in the day. Just got back in the city, hoping to find some more work.
All right. Very cool. So as you navigate this guy looks you up and down, says, You looking for Pepe? And he like looks around like you just said some joke to his chums here. I don't think I've ever seen you around here before.
Well, try telling him Stitches is here to see him, and then once you see the look on his face, tell him that you're just joking and it's only Tomo.
Oh boy, roll me persuasion. Roll me persuasion, roll it flat because you're getting bonuses off the fact you're using a good name and you have the backup from Whiskey here. You are, however, rolling against someone you lost a face down to. So
Okay, so this is technically a -2, but I'm balanced out.
-2 + 2 flat. Yeah, so, yeah. All right. This guy looks you over, suspicious as hell, but mercifully. This guy nods. We'll see what he says about that. He walks inside, and it doesn't take very long, maybe a minute, 2 tops, before this guy shows back up. Okay. You want to go have a conversation with him? He's inside. And he steps out of your way, lets you in.
Hell yeah, face down cleared, and guess we'll go inside and have that drink.
Yeah. So as you walk in, this place is rowdy. You know, we've all seen what the inside of the Coyote Coho looks like in 2077. Bright lit bar here, 2 stories. There's a pool table on the left of everything as you're walking in here, and on the right, there's a couple of bar top tables and booths where all manner of kind of raucous drinking is happening. In the corner, you see a couple of guys huddled together, clearly talking some kind of business. And there, kind of in the center of it all, behind the bar, is the man from that hazy half-formed memory of yours. Guy by the name of Pepe Naharo. He is the bartender here. And shockingly, Walrusman, thank you for the sub. Shockingly, that memory of yours must have been relatively recent because he doesn't really look much older than what your kind of half-formed memory of him would suggest. He is wearing like a thick leather kind of biker jacket with 2 roses kind of worked into the leather near the shoulders. A bright like white gold cross hangs on a chain around his neck. And as you wander in, he says, "Now, when I heard that a guy by the name of Stitches was walking into my bar again, I thought, damn, that Singularity tech really something." When they mention you. It's been a while.
It has. So what about Singularity tech and Stitches?
Well, take a seat. I got you a drink on the house, and who's your chum here?
And as he says, he's gonna say, "Oh, whiskey, I hope." Also, me whiskey.
What's up, Chum? Say, this place usually this lively, or do we just come at a good time?
It's never not lively in here. Best you can hope for is a quiet Sunday afternoon while the church is going on. But yeah, take a seat. What's your poison?
Anything that's strong.
Got some ideas. And you see him reach down under the counter, and This is causing you, Tomo, to, like, again, like the little flashbulbs are beginning to light up in your mind. Little half-formed memories of a life that doesn't entirely feel like your own. And as this guy pulls up what seems to be so he pulls down a bottle, kind of a deep, kind of green color, that you recognize with a logo O'Dickens on the side of it, and begins to pour you a shot of that. He reaches under the bar for whiskey, and you remember a half-formed moment of taking a shot of the thing he's pulling up for him, and you remember coughing and sputtering from the burning in your throat. He pulls up what appears to be a slightly smaller than average gas can, and along the side on the logo, you see the word Especial written. You recognize this to be Tequila Especial. This shit is cheap. It's very cheap.
Might as well be a suitable replacement for Chew.
It's not far off, yeah.
I can't remember what campaign it was, but when I walked up to that one bar and said, "You got any diesel? Like, just get me diesel." Like the cheap. That is the diesel that I was in fact mentioning.
Yeah. So he takes this gas can shaped bottle and sure enough, like, pours it out into a shot glass. And you can smell, like, this is liquor. It's probably not going to hurt you that bad, but yeah, slides the glass across to you. And to his credit, he pours himself a glass of the same. And then he raises up the glass to the two of you with your shots in front of you and says, "To friends old and new, welcome back, Chooms." And he clinks his glass against yours before taking the shot at the same time that you two do.
Yeah, and then as Toma takes it, say, to welcome home. And,
To health.
So, I haven't seen you around here in a couple years. What kept you away from these doors?
Well, that's kind of a long story, but to try and make it short, for what I have figured out so far, they stuck me in a pod, plugged my brain into something, and somebody just helped rip me out of it, and I've been sleeping in a cot in their basement for about the past week. You're caught up to probably the last time you saw me, because I don't remember that either.
Shit. And, Whiskey, your memory any better than this guy's?
No, thankfully. I'm kind of still debating on whether I actually want to remember or if I just want to enjoy the new life. You know what I'm saying, Joom?
Okay. So, this thing you woke up from wouldn't happen to be cryopod, middle of some whack data center, the outskirts of the city, something like that?
That's exactly right, actually.
Sounds about right.
You hear some people talking around here about shit like that, things going down. Some of it just sounds like myth, urban legend bullshit, but when you hear it day in, day out, much as I have, you start realizing there's truth. So, if those rumors are true, they're using people that they're hauling up off streets to power whatever the fuck this shit is. Let's fill in some gaps then, I guess. So Singularity, this everyone on the Hollow claims it's the next step in human evolution, or at least that's what them fucks at Rockland want you to believe, right? They say it can do all kinds of shit. Make you closer to your friends and family, bring you into a new state of humanity, new sense of being, lets you empathize with your therapist or whatever, have the greatest sex you've ever had, you know, that kind of thing.
It just sounds like a brain dance with extra steps that they can charge more for.
Yeah. That's kind of what I've been thinking, but a couple of chums of mine, regulars here, they came into a little bit of cash, some spare eds, and they chose to get the soft and chrome needed to run this shit. And soon after, they were set off by Padre, sent off to flatline some gonks that had done the Valentinos wrong. By all accounts, they were firing in sync with one another. We're talking like they had gotten the course drilled into them like Militech or Arasaka. They were fighting like corpo soldiers, that kind of perfectly in line with one another. But next time I saw him, this was maybe 2 or 3 days ago, I was asking him some questions about it, and they seemed like different people, hollow people. Like they knew things that the friends I made long time ago, they knew these things. They could talk about these things with me, but they weren't the same. It's like part of them had just been taken out.
Oh. Don't suppose I could ask you for their deets, so just let them know that I'm in town and give them my deets if you end up seeing them.
Yeah, I'll see about it. They're, even before they got the implant, not exactly the most socially capable sort of guys, you know? They prefer to stick to their own. But if you're really that curious, I'll see if I can set up a meeting. But anyway, enough about me and my problems. Why you came here, not just to hear me yap on and on about some story about techno bullshit. Why you really here?
Well, why does anybody do anything in this city? You're here for Eds. Me, friend here, and another chum still laid up back at the pad. We all just crawled out of an icebox and we're all hungry.
Yep. I got an iron on my hip and the nerve to use it.
Well, there's been some developments. Call it a turf war. Valentinos aren't exactly what we call the cuddly type, right? Not everyone's like me. And he kind of gives you a big toothy grin as he says that. And there is that sense of warmth in your mind, Tomo, as this guy is like, yeah, this guy's a good guy. You've drank here plenty of times. This guy has very much never been, you know, in your very faint recollection here, he's never done you wrong. But you don't remember much more than the feeling of that. Says, but lately there's a group, couple of little banger kids. Now, a couple of these guys, their leadership, at least they maybe 19, 20, but the foot soldiers are pushing into the neighborhood. They somewhere between 13, 14, guns, dealing drugs, and they come in hopped up on some of their own recipe, and they take shots at the other Tinos in the area. And what are we supposed to do? We defend ourselves. They're getting persistent, though. I've been thinking we need to send them a message. And they clearly got our number. I've sent in a couple other small groups, try and bust up. They've got a lab somewhere in Arroyo. But every time they get intercepted, a couple blocks before they even get to the place. And when they come back, it's like they just went through their own little corporate war. So if you're still the guy I remember from back in the day, ice bath notwithstanding, and if your chum here is the corpo soldier he seems to be, or she seems to be rather, how's that other chum of yours that's laid up back home? Any
Let's
good with
just say I'm sure he'll be excited to get back to work. But yeah, so long story short, little drug lab be in the middle of their territory, just roll it over.
Roll it over. Leave a couple corpses
Just-
behind as a message. But
Just like the old days. I really do wish Stitches was here.
You said, sorry, just to clarify something.
yeah,
What was, you mentioned that every time you send somebody in, it's kind of like they went through their own little corporate war, as you put it.
yeah.
They, this group, they got backing from any particular group, any rival gangs, maybe?
None that I'm aware of, but looks like they're trying to bring back an old gang. Back when I was a kid, called themselves the Piranhas. Bunch of little shits, kids, party gangers, drug dealers, that kind of. Well, they were a problem, and if they're coming back.
Tomo's gonna
Gotcha.
stifle a chuckle and do like the double tap on the bar for another shot.
Yeah. And Pepe kind of grins, and this time he reaches down and grabs the tequila especial again and pours that into your glass. Says, "This one is my choice, but you're taking the gig on. Know it comes with good pay. Padre himself wants this done."
For old times, as long as it's still in the house, he's gonna do the shot glass tap and slide
Yep.
it back.
Yep, and and it burns. It's a familiar burn too, but it's a burn. And he grins and he says, "Good heads in this. Like I said, must have been a dozen or more Tinos at this point went down that way, and come back, cars shot up. Some of them hallucinating, talking about gas bombs and shit like that. But if you and your crew,
They probably just have their little territory staked out with twitchy spooks with tools they probably shouldn't have.
that's kind of what I'm hoping. But since you and yours aren't decked out in Tino cred, chains, cars, none of that shit, I'm hoping they won't see you coming. They'll think you're normal people walking up looking to make a deal.
Yeah.
And if I'm right, I'll pass word to Padre, pay you out 2 large each for making this happen for him.
I'm kind of like, because, yeah, they wouldn't expect to owe me.
He looks you over and he says, I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in. What do you say?
No, I'm never been more in.
All right. Wow. There's no, as far as I'm concerned, there's no exact time limit on this, but sooner the better.
Right. We just gotta let I think Lockshot still need another day or two, but once he's back on his feet, like I said, I'm pretty sure he'll be happy to get back to work.
Yeah, and I can't say I'm familiar with this Padre character, but I'm assuming he's top dog around here.
He's pretty much the guy everyone in this bar would do anything for. You want someone flatlined and Padre says you flatline him, you flatline him. Or you get flatlined a couple days later.
Beautiful. Even more reason to do the job.
Big deal fixer in the area. You want to know someone who's connected, you do this for Padre, Padre will do right by you.
Sweet.
Hold on 1 sec. What is... that's it. Skill, never mind. I think it still might be helpful. I kind of want to skim over this just for the sake of brevity, but this would be the moment where, like, I buy a beer for each of us to waste more time, and I basically do the RPG thing of every optional dialogue to basically update myself on, like, the goings-on in the area of, like, because Tomo would have a general sense from his old Streetwise of, like, the gangs in the area, the way the power play is going, how those power plays are going, and shit like that. But basically updating that knowledge so that it's a lot more current.
Okay. Let me have a look here. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll me conversation for this, even though I know your base isn't particularly high on it.
Actually, conversation isn't terrible. I mean, it's a 5.
Yeah, it's not terrible. That's not bad. So yeah, and you've got rapport with Pepe. So as you begin to talk with him, he fills you in on a couple of things here. So this conflict between these would-be piranhas, if they aren't part of the old gang that has just kind of been boiling under the surface here and trying to come back, they very much feel like, from his description, like they've got a very similar MO. The way he describes their outfit, very similar to the one that you flatlined earlier down in Pacifica. Beyond them, though, that's a new problem. The old problems that they still are dealing with, that as he begins to mention these things, they begin to itch little scratches in your memory, essentially. Which is that you've got the usual problem with the corporate types a little bit to the north. You know, the Valentinos are always running up against various corporate troops centered near the Corpo Plaza. There's always kind of a push and pull with the NCPD right around kind of the central Glen, like here-ish. He mentions, however, there is one other thing that's kind of a new thing. 'Cause they, more or less, aside from the corpos and the police, they've kind of consolidated power in the southern Glen by and large. He does mention, however, that more recently there have started to be these kind of like one-off, two-off skirmishes with what seem at first to be pretty average people, like no clear gang affiliations, no clear kind of pattern, rhyme, or rhythm to who they are or who they represent. But certainly when they get into it, they'll kind of wander into a place like Well Springs or even like the northern kind of edge of the Glen. And they go from being these average everyday people to practically acting kind of like cyber psychos, violent, but with a coordination that is not normal. You know, not your average gonk just wandering in and deciding to get a little violent with it. And he says, like, this combined with sort of the situation with his chooms that decide to have whatever tech Singularity needs installed in their heads, says there's some things that just line up between them. And he can't help but wonder if maybe Singularity itself is making some kind of play. But he says it's all conjecture at this point. But he says the people that survived these little skirmishes, they say on an average day, someone like that would have provided no threat. But these people, when they come in, even if they're not particularly heavy on chrome and all they got is a knife or a gun, they do some damage before they're put down. And he says, basically, aside from that, you know, most of Vista, Arroyo, all that sort of thing, you know, most of it is just Arroyo is constantly in conflict between them and 6th Street. The NCPD kind of finds their way and to wedge their way in the middle of all of that. The Piranhas are just an added nuisance that they need taken off the board basically as quickly as possible. That's why Padre's been so insistent on trying to get it done. He says these like dozen or so Valentinos that have already kind of been casualties in this battle against them, that's all been over the last like 2 weeks since they really caught word that these guys had kind of come into the picture. So he says right now they're just too much of a distraction for him not to give them mind.
With that, I guess it would be time to close up tab and head back because, I mean, we got a job set up. We know we need to scout out. And I think it's kind of funny that I've already tapped home. I actually wonder, could I tell Whiskey, hey, take the cab back on your own, stop back by the trash can where I dumped the disposable, and see if I can't dredge that back up, because that would give us contacts on the inside. Because that would be, it's kind of a random pull. I mean, we don't have to use it for anything, but it would still have like the contacts list and shit, right?
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't even have to take it. I would probably just dig it up, have the contents of like the contacts list scanned into my internal agent thingy, and then bounce.
Fair enough. All right. I mean, you're also not far from an end card station that would get you back down near the EBM stadium here. So if you wanted to just take that, because to call for a whole other Delamain would be another 100 eddies. So it's up to you if you want to do that or not.
Well, I have the beauty of board travel.
You do, yeah. And
Savings.
there's only like one district over that you'd really be going, so it's not particularly difficult for you to get there. That's mostly for whiskey. Would whiskey want to spend 100 more eddies on a Delamine?
Counterpoint. I could give you a ride to the Inkard station, drop you there, and then just go about my own way, and then you have such a short distance to travel.
Yeah, I don't mind walking.
Cool. So like taking the end cart beyond the stop right at the edge of the Glen and Pacifica there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So the two of you, I'm gonna just roll something here real quick. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, did I? Oh, no. Yeah, that was technically... Nyla, can you see the result of that roll that I just made?
No, I cannot.
You cannot. Okay, cool. Because I accidentally did while I was targeting your character, so it said it was from you, but it's like, I wonder. All right, that's totally fine. So, you guys both make it back to the Glen, or not to the Glen, excuse me, down to Southern Pacifica without much fanfare. There's a couple of kind of shady looks and stuff that you get walking back from the stadium toward the sanctuary, but beyond that, Whiskey, you are largely, unbothered. Tomo, you find your way back to that kind of area near that party that you very lightly crashed earlier. And you make your way back toward that dumpster that you tossed this phone into. Could I have you roll me a d10, please? It's like the one time he doesn't want to roll a 10. So unfortunately, that disposable is no longer there when you get back. It seems someone after you has either taken it or something has happened to it, but it is not where you tossed it. So unfortunately, those contacts are gone. And you are muted, by the way, just in case you are saying something into the mic.
Oh well. Face option out the window then.
Yeah.
So anyways, it started blasting.
Hey, you never know. There are other ways to maybe make that contact, but yeah. So the two of you wind up back at the sanctuary. So with that said, the day passes. Lockjaw, you are feeling much less like a train just ran over you.
At least not the entire thing, just one car.
Yeah, exactly. So the last wheel rolled over you instead of the entirety of the train. And so as you kind of come to that point of recuperation here where you finally can stand up again without your body kind of screaming somewhere in protest, you've got a couple days here left to you that can be used as downtime. Do you want to do anything with that?
Well, I would like to talk to our little pocket tech Scrappy to see how she is doing.
Yeah, so...
And to see if she could maybe patch up a hole or two in my mimic clothing set.
Yeah. Because I've still got Scrappy. And Scrappy would have probably been taking the same time here, so that's... Yeah, so she's mostly recovered. still needs probably just a little bit more time to fully. Yeah, that's what I thought. Is it's yeah. I did that math correctly. She's no longer seriously wounded, and that's the important thing. So she's back on her feet. Albeit, well, no, she would have had 5 days just like you. So no, she'd be back to full. So she's looking better than she was. And she kind of looks over and not to put words into your character's mouth in a big way here. But is genuinely pretty grateful about, having been saved from the situation that you all found yourselves in. But yeah, once you bring it up that you want your armor looked over, sounds, yeah, of course. And let me go ahead and roll field expertise, basic tech. All right, so yeah, clearly that does just fine. So your mimic clothing kit over the course of the next day does get fully repaired. So you will be good there. Boom. So yeah, any of those shattered plates are restored. Your armor is in pretty much perfect condition after a day of her working on it.
And I will give her a gentle pat on the head as I have metal hands.
Yeah, and she just kind of looks up slightly bewildered by that, like not entirely sure what to do with the gesture. But kind of gives a slight grin and then kind of goes back to tinkering on any number of other little things. Notably, something that did not come out of the simulation with her was Shaggy. For what it's worth, that agent did not follow her out.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a concerted effort she's now going under to try and see about either recreating or, locating, if that's somewhere here, trying to find a way to do that for herself. So with that said, that covers day 6 of 7, with that last day available to you. And all of you technically kind of have this. Is there any last minute things that any of you are looking to do?
I am just checking on these two chuckleheads as they came out of the fridge, and I want to make sure that they're okay, even though I'm the day of the Walking Dead.
Yeah, you're less dead, more walking now at least. So
I kind of think it's my job to babysit them.
Yeah, valid. So as you finally feel like a person again, the three of you are kind of in sanctuary. I assume Tomo and Whiskey, the two of you are probably trying to call together some level of intelligence on like what you're about to do when the time comes to actually attack whatever this lab is that the piranhas, if that's what they are, have set up.
I think grenades or something I'm thinking about. Some kind of tech. And I know we got Scrappy. I'm not sure if Scrappy's up for a project right now, but...
Yeah, I mean, Scrappy has a day available to use on a project if you wanted to do that.
Scrapster, I need your hands.
And
I got it.
She, kind of like opens, like she's got both of her cyber hands. She says, which one? And flexes the variety of tools out of the one and the cyber fingers on the other.
Whichever ones you're willing to spare. I was just hoping you could maybe repair my armor jack. Took a little bit of a beating.
Oh yeah, no, that's easy. Big guy already had me do it. And she kind of glances over toward where Lockjaw is. But yeah, let me go ahead and roll. Easy, yeah. No, she's easily able to recover your armor to full. So it'll take that last day to kind of prep you there.
Beautiful.
But that's, of course, that's her thing on that last day. If you want to go shopping for something, you can do it. You just won't have your armor jack to protect you if that's the case.
Yeah, I'm thinking I need grenades. Like some grenades. If I can pick those up.
There's actually well, this is something Tomo would have seen, not you. Would this be something where you and Tomo are putting your heads together on this?
Probably.
Okay.
For trying to pick a grenades, yeah, because I would want some more specialty arrows. Because I've got enough basics, but I'm down to like 2 incendiary.
So, Tomo, there was a stall while you were stalking your prey the other day at that day market. And some of those stalls look pretty permanent. Like they were kind of set up there all the time. But there was a small kind of tech outfit there that went by the name Short Fuse. And you saw all kinds of random shit that they were dealing over the counter. Tech fabbed ammo. You could have swore you saw something resembling a grenade behind the counter that got rolled over to a client at some point while you were kind of wandering through things. So you do know that there's somewhere local here in Pacifica that you could grab stuff from.
Cool, so when Whiskey brings up the grenades, it'll be like, oh yeah, I think I saw a spot the other day. I need to pick up some arrows and shit too. Because that actually, oh yeah, that would be super local. Actually, I might just say, oh yeah, I know a spot, and then hand over the shopping list and the eds for what I need, because I kind of don't want to go back in that area.
Right.
Plus, I can use the excuse of I need to scout out that area of the lab, because what I want to be doing over those days is, like, basically trying to understand the new net and, like, getting the city map for that area for myself.
Well, so you'll probably need an actual port for that, because it's a special kind of cyberdeck port that you need. The good news is everyone can access items up to 500 in the time of the 70s. So let me quickly remind myself. Because I need to see with that, because you need a Neuroport Cyberdeck port, I believe. So Neuroport Cyberdeck port. Okay, so the port itself is only 100 eddies. And then the deck is, you get your choice. It's the same ones as are in the red core rulebook. So poor ones for 100, medium standard quality ones for 5, excellent quality for 1,000. So anything other than the excellent you can get your hands on.
I think we're on different wavelengths. I don't mean like net architecture, like Netrunner net. I mean like city net, like old school agent city net. Yeah, like search the net for like general maps and stuff.
Got it. I see.
I realized where the wires got crossed there when I said net.
because you said net, because you also took net runner, so you
Yep, understanding net and yep. I
that
would
said,
need the
what I said does stand if you want a quick hack and stuff like that. So, so that
good
might
to know that investment will be coming.
yeah. And the good news is you would only need like 200 eddies to start working with that, because you need the port and then your cyber deck, which can be. It explains that basically any cyber deck that exists in red, you can get that in a form factor that fits in a neuroport, instead of being like a full-on like mini laptop.
I can get my classic standard quality safety deck. Yes. Oh, I can't wait to do this job.
Yeah. So, that said, so you want to scope on the net. So you're doing a little bit of that OSINT basically on this. So go ahead, roll me a library search check.
Library search. Bam. High roll. Not a very high roll.
Nah, not a very high roll. So you sift through what data you can. Because even though that's a very low roll, it's not like you get nothing. You're just not going to get anything particularly interesting.
I don't find the shiny, but
yeah,
there's still something that exists.
There's definitely a scope. So the area that Pepe was talking about in Arroyo is a area that's largely dominated by corporations like Petrochem, and some other like subsidiary kind of chemical manufacturers. It's nearly always covered in smog, which is, you have to admit, kind of perfect for a drug lab, because it means that whatever emissions that thing's throwing, it's just mixing in with all the other emissions. It's all going to smell awful no matter what's getting ejected, and no one's really going to blink twice, right? The particular area of Arroyo that Pepe has pointed out is an area that's kind of sandwiched between a few large structures there. There's, of course, the mega building that's kind of at the center of everything there. And then there are several other kind of corporate offices for Petrochem that make for some narrow alleyways and small kind of bodega-like shops and alleyway ripper clinics. He mentioned that where the Tinos got sent to, where they got ambushed, were some of these narrow alleyways, because they know that wherever this lab is, it's kind of nestled in there somewhere, but they've never been able to lay eyes on it exactly. So you do get kind of a sense of what that area looks like. You're just not able to narrow it to any one location and know, like, that's our lab, that's where we're going.
Yeah, I got exactly what I was looking for. Basically, just like the video game mini-map overview of like general sense of direction once we're in those alleys. Yeah, like you don't know which alley has the clinic or the lab in it, but there's a couple of very good candidates at the very least here. And all of that is kind of centered in the area that Pepe would have described these Valentino groups that were sent to the area to deal with it had, gotten attacked or reportedly came back from, and when they kind of regained their senses, had all kinds of different stories to say about the area they'd just gone through. But anyway, shopping trip, because as I think about it more and more, and this sounds scarier and scarier, I need more than 2 incendiary arrows. I need a friend.
Yeah, you need your Hawkeye quiver again.
So yeah, it really would be like, oh yeah, here's 100 eddies. I remember the other day I saw the shop thing. I think I saw a grenade or 2 rolling around. If you want to go scope it out.
Yeah. So this is the what has become kind of affectionately known as the EBM day market. EBM has nothing to do with it. but it's right in the shadow of the stadium here. So Whiskey, that is probably where you would be headed. There's a couple of these kind of narrow back streets where this is kind of just set up like a flea market, right? Lots of little tables, some of which look incredibly temporary, others that look like they just kind of are more or less permanent fixtures here, for better or worse. And there's one in particular, the one that Tomo would call out in particular, by the name of Short Fuse, where it's a old kind of RV that's chalked up on cinder blocks. This thing ain't going anywhere anymore. But the kind of side of it has been carved open, kind of like a food truck, but instead of dispensing, tacos or burgers or something out of the side, instead you see, cases of ammunition, the occasional explosive device, every now and then a firearm, that these guys are kind of dealing out of this thing.
All right. I'm gonna walk up and say, "Hey, I'm looking for things that blow up."
Well, we got some things that blow up. What exactly are you looking for?
I'm looking for some incendiary arrows, armor-piercing grenades. You got any of those?
We got a couple of the grenades rolling around back here, but
All right.
arrows. The fuck you going hunting for with arrows?
Hey, listen, I'm just the messenger. I just shop for Legolas, okay?
And the one by the window here, guy with, like very much has like a mullet going, kind of headband wrapping around his hair, mirror shades tinted like a kind of off, kind of brownish red. He looks back, he says, "Hey, Flack, we got any of those fucking arrows? Yeah, the ones the Hicks brought in?" "Oh, good. It's your lucky day. Sounds like we got about 20 of those suckers back here. So, you want to take them off our hands? We're willing to sell them."
All right, yeah, what? Is that 100 for 10?
Yeah, 100 for 10.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take them off your hands plus the 2 APs.
All right. And so, yeah. So are you buying all, because he mentioned 20 incendiary arrows. Are you buying all of those? Okay.
Yep, just for
Very cool.
Tomo.
Just for the sake of brevity, because when I mentioned it, I would have given you the 100 for 10, but I imagine you would just get the other 10 and be like, "Here, they had 20 there," and then I'd just give you the other 100 when you got back. So don't worry about marking that off your sheet.
Rad.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, when Tomo eventually, when Whiskey gets back, Tomo, you'll end up with 20 incendiary arrows, and Whiskey, you'll have made away with 2 armor-piercing grenades.
Which I just added the AP grenades.
Sick. And then I assume, Ghost, you got the incendiary arrows added to your sheet?
Yep.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Times 11 to my stack.
Hell yeah. You'll love to see it. So, would Lockjaw have passed along any desires that he has for ammunition, equipment, anything like that?
Nah, I got fist. I'm good.
I got fist. Hell yeah. Very cool. All right.
I love the joys of a pure martial arts build. That really is kind of a treat, especially late game. Everybody's buying like 500 rounds of specialty ammunition at a time, and you're like, "I just punch people. I guess I'll take a grenade in case."
Yeah, it's just in case I need to really clear out a room quick, but like... Okay, very cool. So, let me make a quick roll here. I'm curious about this. Interesting. Okay. So, as you begin to leave from the day market, Whiskey, you see a rather brightly colored looking teenager. You're guessing maybe 15 or 16. Kind of maneuvering their way between some of the stalls through the crowd that's kind of gathered here. Roll me a perception check.
Let me make sure I got my points at the right place.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a crit.
It's still very good. That's good enough for what my purposes are here. So there's a few things you notice right off the jump here. One, this kid is dealing drugs. You see several of the people he's running up to. You know, this the quick sleight of hand, you know, he passes a bag, he takes back a roll of Eddie's. And you could see this one is looking around every time one of these kind of exchanges happens. You see them looking around, not exactly nervously, but clearly checking their six, you know, making sure that no one's stalking them. And they're trying to do this as as just discreetly as they can, but it doesn't fall below your notice. They're, like I said, they're only, you know, kind of early high school aged. Not that this one's probably in school. This one, judging by the look of the, you know, clothes that they're wearing and kind of the smudges of dirt on their face, it looks like classical education isn't exactly what this kid's been doing. So, but you could see also on their arm this kind of bony fish skeleton logo that you recognize with that perception check pretty quickly, because of course you're here to prepare for this. You recognize this to be the logo of the Piranhas. And this kid just is out here dealing drugs in the middle of a day market.
I'm suddenly very happy that I sent you alone on the errand drone.
So, can I make a stealth check?
Please.
Come on. You know, and why not?
Hey, that's pretty good.
I put 4 luck into that.
Valid. That's very, very good. Let me, I'm just gonna roll a quick contesting check against it.
In case.
Okay, so I think I'm just gonna share this with everybody. So as we can see here, this kid is not particularly perceptive, at least to what you're doing. But this is kind of a nuclear bomb versus coughing baby sort of situation. So, yeah. You kind of blend in with the crowd, kind of slowly meandering your way through. What are you using your stealth to try and accomplish here?
Oh. So there's... You said he's like 15 or 16, right?
Yeah, judging from his appearance and height, probably about 15 or 16.
Because I'm not good at much except for physical violence.
Jesus.
But there is something I think to be said about... Because he couldn't contest, say, like a brawling check, right?
Not if you're coming at him from stealth, no.
Yeah, I think what I want to do is kind of pull a maneuver similar to like what if you've played through Phantom Liberty, what Reed does to you at the basketball court.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like, but also like wrap my left arm kind of around his shoulder and like to kind of semi-restrain him, and then put my sheriff kind of to his torso.
Yeah, just like right up against his ribs. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair. So yeah, you kind of effortlessly kind of lean back against your stealth training from Militech. And yeah, as you slowly kind of maneuver your way toward him through the crowd, the movement is smooth. And without anyone else truly noticing what's happening, you kind of reach out, grab his shoulder with one arm, and from under your clothes comes the sheriff, clearly pressed hard into this kid's ribs. As you can just see from his body alone, he freezes. Not sure what's happening. Yeah, please.
Make any move and this bullet blends your fucking intestines.
Who the fuck are you?
No one you need to concern yourself with. What I want to know is where you're getting them drugs. And I want you to tell me every single fucking detail. Capiche?
Roll me persuasion with a +2.
Come on. Okay.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. You're scaring the piss out of this kid. So you lean into that threat with a gun pressed up against this kid's ribs. And look, just some chums of mine over in Arroyo. Just a small operation. You know, just synth, glitter, that kind of shit.
Address.
And this kid describes not exactly an address, because to his understanding, it doesn't have like a full-blown street address. But he tells you in that kind of like, all right, what you're going to do is you're going to go to this building, then turn left down the alleyway, third door on the right. Kind of directive of it. And where that lands you is right about here. Let me just...
Beautiful.
Make a quick note of this. I'm not going to create a description for it quite yet. But this right here. Oop. Hold on, I'm trying to ping it here. Sure as shit, right? Pretty much dead near the middle of, if you were to draw a circle with all of the reports that Tomo had from Pepe saying like, yeah, the Tinos went here, and this is kind of where they all fell off the edge of the map, so to speak, till they came back. It's pretty much right near the center of the circle you could draw from that.
Beautiful.
So yeah. So the kid tells you this. He says, so am I good to go?
One more thing. I need you to name a couple of gonks that no one's gonna miss from there, okay? I need 2 fuckers that the world would be better off without, okay? I need names and I need physical descriptions. Can you do that for me?
There's a big Doomba, calls himself Jawbreaker. Fucker's probably roided up, and I think he even got grafts about a month ago. And then there's Sour Patch, and she's a runner, sassy bitch, but she's good at what she does. Maintains security for the op.
All right, you're doing great, champ. Do you have family you can stay with?
They are my family.
Do you have any other family?
None that aren't in the fucking columbarium.
All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna stay put somewhere safe for a week, okay, but not there. You understand?
What's gonna happen to them?
No one important should die. except for those two. You wouldn't miss them, right?
And the silence that follows from this kid is palpable. He says, I mean, guess not.
Okay, good. So you have nothing to worry about. Alright? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna release you and you're not gonna turn another fucking step. This gun will be trained on you. You're going to close your eyes for the next 10 to 15 seconds, and once you open them, you're going to proceed forward and take your next left, at which point you can run. Do I make myself fucking clear?
Crystal.
Alright. Delta, you fucking gonk.
And so then you slink off into the crowd. This kid stays there kind of like hands very gently raised, clearly still frozen in place. And by the time you kind of reach the edge of the day market, eyes very much still trained back on him. By the time he puts the hands down, there's a moment where you think he's going to turn back around, like the head just twitches ever so slightly to the side. And before he can really commit to that, the head goes back forward and he starts to walk slowly, directly in the direction that you told him to.
All right.
Go ahead.
I will take that opportunity as he's leaving to take my leave.
Yeah. So you wind up back at the sanctuary not too long later and sit down and distribute the spoils as it was. And I suppose, given that we're kind of at time here, do we want to take the war planning do we want to save that for next week?
I'd say so, yeah.
Can I check on one final thing? Because I think it might add a bit to a cliffhanger here.
Yeah.
Because it's got me thinking, because I'm sure that once you got back, as you're kind of divvying up the spoils, you kind of regale us with the tale of the random piranha that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
It would kind of cross someone's mind more and more that, like, these are just kind of kids playing dress up, trying to resurrect what, in his mind, because he would have been around for, like, the old piranhas, and if I remember right, like, this is actually just me, they were basically a sub-gang that kind of existed because they dealt drugs to a bunch of gangs that would give them protection in their territories, right? Like, they weren't an independent gang that held, like, a large territory.
So they actually dealt a lot in Pacifica back in the time of the Red. They practically owned Playland by the Sea. Like, the corporate money that came in was corporate money, but they were the beneficiary of most of it. So no, they were their own gang.
Oh, okay. So they just ran the south side. Okay, I just always thought of them as like an undercurrent gang of drug pushers.
In a lot of the other parts of the city, they were kind of an undercurrent, but they were always the ones who had the drugs.
Yeah, that's because they just always had an embassy in everybody else's territory because everybody wants it. That tracks. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now there's still an angle to play here that I would need to check on something with, because my idea is I want to check in with Pepe and have him run it by Padre. If instead of rolling it over, we get them to work under, and this is like the first central, like they produce a little bit more. In return, Valentinos get a little bit, they do a little bit of distribution, they take a cut off the top. Their business opens up a little bit more, and they become somebody working under the Valentinos instead of a problem pushing in on their territory. If I can get them to like come to a meeting and bend the knee, would Padre be open to the Valentinos working with this new generation of piranhas?
So Pepe would tell you when you present this idea to him, you say Padre won't go for that. He doesn't want... He sees what these kids are trying to do as fundamentally dangerous. If Tinos start getting high off of these kids' supply, they both lose their loyalty and they lose their edge. They become useless. Padre's not the kind of guy to go for drugs.
Can't hate me for feeling sorry for the kids. Had to check.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I asked for name 2 people who you wouldn't mind, who you would not miss.
Yeah. 2 people
like,
won't be missed. Yep.
Yeah, we need who are the sacrificial lambs?
Yep.
Because there needs to be blood spilled.
Oh yeah. Yep. But no, it sounds like they genuinely want this place sunk. They don't want anything to survive this.
That's fine. I can burn it to the ground for him. I get paid either way.
Yeah. Real 2070s Edge Runner shit. All right. So any last minute anything else before we part ways this week?
Nothing out of Lockjaw.
All right. Well,
I think I'm good.
yeah. Well, then if everyone is good, I know for everyone watching, I know we are going to be running this maybe a little shorter than we have been going forward, just because of the way timing works. This is how we can play. So forgive us that, but I promise next week's going to be a lot of fun. So that said, I hope all of you have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon wherever you're in the world. Stay healthy, stay safe, and until next time, peace, guys.
Okay.